I think if the standard is that we have to prove in the form of an email or a recorded telephone conversation, somebody saying, give me this money and I will do that in exchange. That's a standard that nobody could live to. I think what you can look at is a pattern of behavior, and we do this all the time, by the way, not just as it regards to the Clintons, but I think regards to political scandals that are on the horizon. The question is, do you see a pattern of behavior in which money flows and favorable action results? And if you look at some of the recent cases of political corruption, whether that's Governor McDonnell in Virginia, who's serving jail time because gifts were exchanged, gifts that I guess were legal in the context of Virginia law, but there were favorable actions that he took as a result. He actually has gone to jail on those charges. You have Senator Menendez in New Jersey. There's no smoking gun quid pro quo per se, where they have an email or a phone conversation that talks about such an exchange, and yet he's facing prosecution. You had a governor down in Alabama who's in jail on similar challenges. So the struggle that I've had and the problem that I've had with the Clinton response is they seem to be creating a standard for the Clintons, which is totally and wholly unrelated to the standard that we hold any other politician to. And I would dare say that if you had an American Secretary of Defense who was considering a matter before them, and he had a family foundation that received $145 million from that company that had the matter before him, and he took action that was favorable to that company, it would at least warrant some investigation by government officials. And yet that and other examples have occurred with the Clintons, and the belief is, well, there's nothing to see here.
They leaked copies of the book early before its release.
Yeah.
They refuted much of what you said in the book. They pointed out that there were some errors in the book, and
Right.
they created a website, correcttherecord.org.
Yes.
Did you expect that?
I didn't expect the ferocity of it. I was actually surprised, and I was actually pleased in a way. I mean, if you look at a lot of things that are written about the Clintons or about any public figure, by and large, the tendency is to just ignore it. They ignore it and expect it to go away. If you look at a lot of the reporting that's come out, I think Politico has reported this and others, they were extremely concerned about this book. And so I take that as a badge of pride. Not in the sense that I want to create anxiety with them, but that I want to reveal the truth. And I think they were concerned about the fact that there is detail in this book. It's not done in an sort of overheated way. And I think the fact patterns are very, very compelling. Anytime you write a book like this, where you are dealing with literally hundreds of transactions, there are going to be slight errors, and there were some slight errors in the book. We had a couple of speeches that occurred in 2011 that we had listed in 2010, but none of that undermines at all the fundamentals behind the book. And a lot of the information in the book was confirmed. The uranium nuclear deal, which is 2 chapters of the book, the New York Times did a 4,000-word front-page story confirming the findings of the book. The Clinton campaign has not really refuted any of that, except to say that there's nothing to see here. We had similar things occur with the Washington Post and with ABC News and others. So I feel very, very good about where the book is, and I'm heartened by the fact that I see a lot of journalistic outlets taking this sort of frame of looking at the money going to the Clinton Foundation or the money that Bill Clinton has collected in speaking fees and seeing it as potentially a transactional business model.